Sometimes you will need the effort of all of your soldiers to fight even a couple of enemies. At first glance it seems like white is completely winning here, with an overwhelming material advantage, but then we realize that if white promotes to a queen, black is actually going to do the same and checkmate white in one move. And it doesn't seem like there's an easy way to stop this checkmate, but there is one. After knight e4 check, king here, knight check, king back, and knight to b3, stopping the promotion. And now we might think that white is out of the woods, but actually black has a secondary threat in the form of bishop e5. And now every king move that opens this diagonal is simply going to be a checkmate in one move with the bishop and pawn. So, just a couple of enemies, but all of the pieces you see on the board will need to collaborate to stop this threat. White starts with f4, trying to remove the bishop from this diagonal, but the bishop can just go back and stay on the line and threaten the checkmate. But if the bishop goes to h8, this is actually a blunder because this allows us to get a queen, and if the king moves, we're simply going to take the bishop. But the bishop can go to either f6 or g7, and after it does that, how do we stop the bishop? Exactly, white has to get a knight. This is the only way to cover these two squares, and now the bishop has to move to h8, and this time the queen cannot attack it. But now, we can follow up with f5. If this check, we can simply cover the diagonal. But now black comes back to e5 and threatens again the checkmate. And no matter what, white has to stop the checkmate at all cost. So it goes bishop to h2, the only move that avoids it, sacrificing a bishop, but now gaining one crucial tempo to start going b7 and get a new piece. Now of course the bishop can come back. And now you might think that we can just get a queen and easily win this game. But this is actually a big mistake after the incredible king c4, sacrificing the bishop, and then proceeding to sacrifice this pawn and creating a stalemate around the king. So believe it or not, we need to call back into play a bishop. That's the only move that avoids the stalemate. And now, of course, the black bishop can still take this piece, but we've gained more time, and white needs to gain even more time for this pawn to promote, with knight to c7, another brilliant move. The bishop takes, and now the pawn can go to e7, preparing to get a new piece. But of course again the bishop comes back to e5 and threatens this checkmate. And once again, getting a queen fails to the stalemating trap. So, you guessed it, we need our third piece to be our rook and avoid the stalemate like this. And now finally, after all these struggles, the rook is going to be enough to stop the threats of the bishop and convert this game into a win for white. If you love mind-blowing chess, follow for more.